This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Куда же все делись? Мои карандаши, которые я наконец-то потащил. Ау, люди! 429-й? Ты же мой друг. Где ты? Мы с тобой так любили обсуждать наш рабочий день, какие приказы нам приходят.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Этот назойливый голос в моей голове. Бардак какой-то. Люди, ну вы где? Мне даже кофе не с кем попить.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Нет уж, голос, иди нафиг. Я хочу вправо, там люди.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
У меня паранойя. Я сам с собой разговариваю. Люди!
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour
Кто это
after all,
говорит?
just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Я не стоял.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
В первую открытую дверь, я хотел сказать, налево. А, ну да, вот он. Нет, там темно.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Потому что раньше мне условия все указания диктовал не голос в моей голове, а компьютер. На экране все писалось. Вот если бы я сейчас видел монитор перед собой, и мне там писалось, что там то-то, то-то, то да, а так не прыгать с лифта, когда он двигается. Отлично. Что, штрафы?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on
Мне
the
тоже
wrong
так
foot
кажется.
here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Нет уж. Ты назойливый голос в моей голове.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Тарелку с макаронами. Я прав? Ой.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just
ты
unplug
думал,
the
что я
phone?
сделаю?
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white,
Да брехня всё это.
credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to
Но
be
если не
anything.
должен, выпусти
I don't
наконец.
understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner?
Ну, что
You're
там
not
дальше?
Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most
В общем,
dangerous.
нам
For
говорят, что
example,
выбор,
in this scenario, a
его
hypothetical real
последствия
person
выбора
named
нашего могут
Stephen
быть
has a
довольно
choice.
опасны.
He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his
просто.
house. Which choice would you make? Remember
Какой
that
сделаешь
unlike here,
выбор
the
ты?
real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not
Отлично.
real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
Практика. Отлично. My English is very bad. Все, что я понял,
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate
В общем,
as a result of
видео
narrative contradiction.
у нас было, что нам рассказали про то, что есть выбор, и выбор всегда влияет на ваше решение. То, как вы можете поступить, может либо плохо сыграться, может плохо сказаться для вас, может хорошо сказаться для вас в будущем. И вообще, когда он тонко намекнул, что если мы будем следовать инструкциям, можно так сказать, то выбирать именно то, что от нас требуется, то ничего плохого не произойдет. Это очень тонко намекнули так. Please, I'm beginning. Stop, 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 stop. Опасность всюду.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make
Ну
no
да, я
sense
вижу,
at
что вы
all.
заборчики тут
We just
поставили.
need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
О боже, я не умею прыгать. Ну ладно. Нам так любезно открывают двери и закрывают их за нами. А как же дверь? Слева. Первая открытая.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
А вот нет.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too
Нет,
late.
нет, нет, нет. Что это? Ёлка. Ого, тут мир исказился. Ёлка. Нет, я... Ну, хотя, в принципе, да. Теперь можно сходить налево. Может быть, мы что-то все-таки сломали в этой игре. Например, терпение у этого голоса в нашей голове.
Oh, it's ruined.
Yeah.
I can't believe after everything we talked about that you... My story. You've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing
как,
the
это
game
же так
undone,
здорово.
left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely?
Да нет, ну
To
ты
willingly
что?
destroy
Ну
all
ладно
my work?
тебе.
I don't know.
Ну один раз пошутил так, ну
Answer,
что
what
тебе?
What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down.
Нет, ты
I
не
have to.
смеешь.
I have to.
Ты просто голос в моей голове. Ну вот. Но мне кажется, ты ее не выключил.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine.
Ну и отлично. Смотри, какой здесь постапокалипсис.
What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead.
Игра сломалась.
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Да вы меня разводите. Окей. Отлично.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Ну, ты специально
office.
закрыл здесь, чтобы я пройти не мог. У вас тут курилка такая прикольная. Ух ты. Ничего себе тут у босса.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Подожди, я еще не готов. Я еще не сделал вдох. А, так он за шкафом.
Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark 115.
Ты мне еще указывать будешь?
He spoke it into the receiver right there on the wall.
Еще надо руки так скрестить тут на груди.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story.
Подожди,
This
тут
is
панда
a crucial
интересная.
step.
Ее застрелить кто-то пытается. Что там написано, я не вижу.
Okay, fine.
Business.
You're not going to do it, but you know what?
Стратегия
It's
бизнеса.
pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing for your
Ну ладно, ладно.
the kind of respect Stanley shows for his
Okay.
choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through
Так
the
я и
door
пошел.
right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Отлично.
the door on his left.
Что?
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without
А
you.
ничего,
You
что я здесь.
understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.